Hello and welcome back to Most Amazing Top 10. Today we are getting on the wrong side of the law as we talk about the top 10 longest prison sentences ever given. Yep, almost all of these people will never see the light of day again. Figuratively. Anyway, I'm sure their cells have windows, but still, they're not free. Coming in at number 10, we have 4,797 years for Henri Parot. Henri is a French man from the Basque separatist group ETA. The ETA is considered a terrorist group by the Spanish government, a lot like the IRA. Born in 1958, 32 years later, Henri was arrested after exchanging gunfire with police in Seville. Known as the King of the Car Bomb, Henri's attacks were bloodthirsty. For his involvement in the group's antics, he was given a 4,797-year sentence. This included time for 26 murders and 166 attempted murders. Coming in at number 9, we have 6,060 years for the Guatemala Civil War murderers. Carlos Antonio, Carice Lopez, Daniel Martinez, Reyes Collin, Gulip Manuel Pop, and Pedro Pimentel Rios were all sentenced to over 6,000 years for each of their roles in the horrifying Dos Eras massacre. In the massacre, over 200 indigenous and Mayan people were killed, including elderly people and children. Coming in at number 8, we have 161 life sentences for Terry Nichols. I don't actually know how many years that is exactly. Life can mean anything between 30 to 80 years. Either way, it's a really long time, and Terry will spend his entire life in a maximum security prison in Colorado. Why? Well, he was one of two people behind the Oklahoma City bombings of 1995. Therefore, he was charged with 161 counts of first-degree murder. His actions actually killed 168 people and injured 680. Nasty. Coming in at number 7, we have 1,000 years for Dudley Wayne Kyzer. Kyzer killed his wife, her mother, and a university student on Halloween in 1976. He was originally sentenced to the electric chair, but that was overturned. He was retried in the 80s, during which time he received his 10,000-year sentence, previously the longest in the world. Now in his 70s, he's reportedly a born-again Christian. Kyzer has since been denied parole 10 times. From one Oklahoma inmate to another, coming in at number 6, we have Darren Benefold Anderson. He was given 11,250 years. Anderson was convicted of robbing, kidnapping, and raping an elderly woman in 1993. He was originally sentenced to 2,200 years in jail, however, after appealing, his sentence was extended to 11,250 years. Coming in at number 5, we actually have Anderson's accomplice, Allan McLaurin. He was much luckier in his appeal, but he is now still serving 20,750 years in jail. Wait, what? Yep, that's right, McLaurin appealed his 21,250-year sentence and had 500 years lopped off. He'll be out in the year 9,746. So why were their sentences so harsh? Well, let's just say, yes, all rapes are deplorable, but the way this elderly lady was raped was absolutely vile. Coming in at number 4, we have 30,000 years for Charles Scott Robinson. This is the longest sentence ever given to an American. I mean, if you're a child rapist, you probably need to go to jail for literal ever. Sentenced in 1994, Robinson could not receive the death penalty because he didn't actually kill anyone, but he did rape 6 children, and luckily there is no hope of him ever being reintroduced into society. He can, in theory, apply for parole, but not until he is 108 years old, by which time he probably would have died. No tears there. Coming in at number 3, we have 42,924 years for Otman El Gnaoui and Jamal Zougam. These deplorable humans were behind the 2004 Madrid train bombings and were sentenced to over 40,000 years in jail for the deaths of 192 people and the injuries of over 2,000 people. These guys were part of an Al-Qaeda-inspired terror cell and were some of the only suspects that didn't kill themselves. So, unfortunately, despite the long sentences, these guys may only spend 40 years behind bars because of Spanish incarceration rules. Another person who was sentenced for a ridiculously long time but will never serve it, coming in at number 2, we have 141,078 years for Chamoy Thipyaso. This is the world's longest sentence ever given for corporate fraud, making that all-important Guinness Book of World Records. The Thai national defrauded more more than 16,000 people in a pyramid scheme worth over $200 million. Sure, she was sentenced to over 140,000 years in jail, but Thai law says that people cannot go to jail for fraud for more than 20 years. She was released in 1997 after serving just 8 years, so the original sentence just seems, I guess, like dramatic for the sake of being dramatic. Finally, coming in at number 1, we have 35 life sentences plus 345,035 years without parole for Martin Bryant. In 1996, the Australian mass murderer was sentenced for killing 35 people during the Arthur massacre in Tasmania in Australia. He received life for each person dead plus 1,035 years for wounding 23 people. As well, on top of that, he also received time for theft and arson. He is currently in Risdon prison in Tasmania and has no hope of ever leaving. So that was the top 10 longest prison sentences ever given out. Do the crime, do the time. Although I have to say, some of these are a bit ridiculous. Humans don't live beyond more than 100 years, so why 3,000 and however many? It's crazy. So do let me know what you thought of this video in the comments section down below. As ever, I will try and respond to as many of you as I possibly can. For now, I'm Rebecca Felgate. This is Most Amazing Top 10. If you like this video, if you enjoyed this content, then make sure you show me by giving it a good thumbs up, sharing it with a friend, and staying subscribed for more videos coming at you twice a day. I'll see you next time.